In a world that constantly asks men to choose a single identity, a single direction, a single definition of who they are supposed to be, something unusual happens when a Sigma male walks into the picture. He does not declare himself. He does not announce his talents. He does not demand to be seen. And yet, he is noticed, not because he tries to stand out, but because he moves differently from everyone else. While most men feel pressured to specialize, to narrow down their abilities, the Sigma male quietly becomes good, sometimes exceptionally good, at many things. He never sets out to be impressive. He simply follows curiosity, discipline, and internal standards that rarely match what society expects of him. If you observe him long enough, you'll notice a pattern. He is the kind of man who learns skills without fanfare, who adapts quickly to new environments, and who understands social dynamics without needing to dominate them. He is the man who can hold a meaningful conversation, fix a practical problem, build something from scratch, read people accurately, and navigate life with an unusual blend of logic and intuition. Not because he is trying to be superior, but because he values competence, quiet, private mastery that strengthens his independence. In many ways, the Sigma male resembles an old-world craftsman, methodical, observant, and patient. He treats life as an ongoing apprenticeship. Every situation becomes a classroom. Every challenge becomes a lesson, and every silence becomes an opportunity to understand deeper truths about himself and the world around him. While others rush through life chasing status, he slows down to sharpen his skills. While others compete loudly, he improves quietly. And while others chase recognition, he builds competence that requires no audience. This is why people often underestimate him at first. They see only fragments of who he is, unaware that beneath the calm exterior lies a remarkably wide range of abilities: emotional, intellectual, practical, and strategic. His strength is not in specializing, but in expanding, exploring, learning, and integrating. He is never just one thing. He is a mosaic of strengths, crafted over years of self-directed growth. And so today we explore why the Sigma male becomes a jack of all trades, not by accident, not by ambition, but as the natural rhythm of his personality, a rhythm built on independence, curiosity, and a deep desire to master life entirely on his own terms. Point one, the Sigma learns by observation, not competition. The first and perhaps most defining characteristic of the Sigma male is his observational nature. While many men learn through competition, rivalry, and external motivation, the Sigma learns through careful, quiet watching. He studies patterns, human behavior, practical processes, emotional cues, and social dynamics, without needing to insert himself into the environment. This creates a kind of layered learning that accumulates slowly but deeply over time. Instead of rushing to prove himself, he allows information to settle into his mind through repeated exposure. He picks up skills by simply being present, being attentive, and being quietly analytical. This leads to a wide range of subtle competencies. He understands people without needing long conversations. He grasps systems without needing detailed tutorials. And he learns strategies without needing direct instruction. Over time, he becomes someone who absorbs knowledge the way others breathe, naturally, without strain, without the need for recognition. Psychologically, this form of learning is linked to high observational intelligence and adaptive cognition. People who learn this way develop flexible mental models, allowing them to transfer what they learn from one area of life to another with ease. This quiet mental adaptability becomes one of the Sigma male's great strengths. He's not just learning facts, he's learning how things work, how people operate, and how environments behave. Because of this, he moves through the world with a sense of internal clarity that does not rely on external validation. He does not need to display dominance or engage in loud competition. His pursuit is not dominance, but mastery. His motivation is not applause, but understanding. He knows that the most powerful strategies are not always spoken, and the deepest knowledge is gathered in silence. The Sigma male studies without seeking approval, and he applies what he learns only when it serves a genuine purpose. Over years and decades, this builds a man who understands far more than he ever verbalizes. His silence becomes a reservoir of insight. His calm presence becomes a tool for decoding reality. He becomes the kind of man who sees what others miss, interprets what others overlook, and learns what others ignore. And because he gathers knowledge without needing to compete, he develops a wide array of skills that appear almost effortless to those who watch him. Yet they are the product of a lifetime of quiet, deliberate observation. Point 2, his independence forces him to become self-sufficient. The Sigma male's lifestyle is built on independence, not as an act of rebellion, but as a natural orientation. He does not rely heavily on others, not because he rejects connection, but because his default mindset is simple. If I can learn this myself, I will. This quiet inner philosophy becomes the foundation of a life shaped by self-education, self-mastery, and self-guided growth. Over time, this internal posture towards self-sufficiency creates a broad and diverse set of abilities that many people never develop. When something breaks, he learns to fix it. When a problem appears, he studies it until he understands it. When emotional challenges surface, he works through them privately before seeking outside assistance. This pattern of self-directed responsibility strengthens his emotional resilience, sharpens his problem-solving intelligence, deepens his critical thinking, and expands his practical life skills, skills that others often overlook because they have always had someone else to rely on. A man who depends on others becomes specialized. A man who depends on himself becomes versatile. This is the quiet truth behind the Sigma's multidimensional nature. He is not shaped by society's framework of narrow expertise. He is shaped by necessity, curiosity, and an inner drive to stand firmly on his own 2 feet. He does not aspire to excel in just one domain. He seeks to become capable enough to navigate the world on his own terms. Decades of living this way sculpt a strong, multi-skilled individual who can move through life without excessive guidance or reassurance. He understands finances, relationships, boundaries, craftsmanship, emotional regulation, and practical survival. Not because he formally studied these fields, but because independence required him to know enough about each to function with confidence. This is why many Sigma males appear naturally competent. They are not loud about their abilities and they never chase validation. But when life demands action, they respond with calm capability. Their independence becomes a lifelong training ground that no external institution could replicate, forging a man who is adaptable, grounded, and profoundly self-reliant. Point 3, his curiosity is not selective, it is universal. Curiosity is one of the most powerful drivers of human development, and the Sigma male possesses a unique, inward-facing form of it. While most people limit their interests to what is socially rewarding or externally validated, the Sigma is drawn to subjects purely because they fascinate him on a personal, almost private level. He might dive into philosophy, psychology, fitness, technology, craftsmanship, economics, art, or human behavior, not for praise, not for status, but for the quiet satisfaction of expanding his inner world. This broad, self-directed interest pattern creates a multidimensional skill set that grows with him over time. His curiosity does not arrive with urgency, nor does it demand rapid results. It unfolds slowly, gently, like a steady flame that never extinguishes. He learns without rush, explores without pressure, and builds knowledge without imposing deadlines on himself. This slow, burning approach allows his mind to absorb information deeply rather than superficially. Because he does not chase external approval, his learning remains pure, driven by genuine interest rather than comparison or competition. And this open, relaxed curiosity leads him to connect ideas across domains in ways others rarely do. He might see parallels between emotional intelligence and strategic thinking, or understand how physical discipline influences mental clarity. He may notice how economics mirrors human behavior, or how artistic expression reveals psychological patterns. These subtle yet powerful connections deepen his versatility, enabling him to approach life from multiple angles with creativity and insight. Over time, because he explores widely and fearlessly, his mind becomes a quiet library, filled with frameworks, models, stories, insights, and practical tools gathered from many different fields. He rarely showcases this knowledge openly, and he never uses it to appear superior. Yet, when a moment arises that requires clarity, perspective, or a solution that others cannot see, the depth of his understanding becomes unmistakable. His curiosity becomes his silent advantage, shaping him into a profoundly capable man whose versatility is born not from ambition, but from genuine fascination with life itself. Point 4. He thrives in solitude, where skill development flourishes. For the Sigma male, solitude is not a retreat, it is a workshop. While many people experience loneliness when alone, he experiences clarity. The absence of noise, expectation, and social performance allows him to focus deeply on personal development. In these quiet, uninterrupted spaces, his mind opens in ways that crowded environments never permit. In solitude, he reads, he works, he practices, he thinks, and he experiments. These quiet hours accumulate into competence. The world may not see what he does during these hours, but the results appear slowly and consistently throughout his life. What looks like natural talent to others is often just the product of countless moments spent in deliberate refinement. Deep work, uninterrupted, focused effort is one of the most powerful forms of skill acquisition. Sigma males unintentionally become masters of deep work because their personality naturally gravitates towards silent environments and self-directed activity. Where many people need accountability partners, noise, or external motivation, the Sigma thrives on internal drive. This is where he develops emotional intelligence, introspection, practical skills, creativity, and intellectual depth. His solitude becomes a personal classroom, a laboratory for growth, and a sanctuary where he can strengthen the mind without distraction. This is also where he forms strong personal philosophies and mental resilience. He does not simply react to life. He studies it, interprets it, and builds frameworks that guide him with stability and purpose. Because he engages with his inner world so consistently, he becomes a man who is not easily shaken by external chaos. Solitude sharpens him, shapes him, and strengthens him. And because he spends more time in this state than the average man, he accumulates more layers of self-development. Over time, this inner work becomes visible in the way he carries himself, in his calmness, his emotional balance, his strategic thinking, and his quiet but unmistakable confidence. While others chase validation, the Sigma invests in refinement. While others fear being alone, he transforms isolation into mastery. And it is this discipline, this lifelong inward commitment, that ultimately makes him stand apart. Point 5, he adapts quickly because he thinks independently. Adaptability is often misunderstood. Many believe it requires constant flexibility, but in truth, it requires independence, freedom from rigid groupthink. The Sigma male is not tied to collective expectations. He does not adjust himself to fit groups. He adjusts himself to fit reality. This distinction is subtle but powerful. While others bend themselves to match the shifting opinions of the crowd, the Sigma male anchors himself in inner clarity. This freedom from social conditioning allows him to think clearly in situations where others are clouded by emotion or conformity. When people panic, he observes. When people rush, he pauses. When people cling to the familiar, he is willing to explore the unknown. He can change strategies without hesitation, pivot without fear, and rethink his approach without waiting for approval. This mental autonomy becomes a stabilizing force, especially in moments of uncertainty. Instead of reacting impulsively, he recalibrates with intention. Instead of seeking validation, he seeks understanding. This independent thinking gives him an edge in unpredictable environments. He becomes a man who can handle crisis with calmness, transition with stability, and adapt without losing his identity. Where others may crumble under pressure, he restructures his approach. Where others become overwhelmed by change, he moves through it with deliberate steps. Over time, this adaptability becomes a skill in itself, a meta skill that enhances every other ability he possesses. It sharpens his decision-making, strengthens his emotional intelligence, and deepens his resilience. Adaptability requires broad competence. It requires awareness, flexibility, and emotional regulation. The Sigma male naturally cultivates these qualities, which allow him to navigate challenges with a level-headed composure that others often admire. His strength is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet, grounded, and precise. He adapts not because he must, but because he understands that evolution is the true mark of mastery. Point 6, he values mastery over recognition. The final reason the Sigma becomes a jack of all trades is simple yet profound. He seeks mastery, not recognition. Most people learn skills to impress others, gain status, or receive validation. Their motivation is external, and because of this, their learning is shallow. They chase applause, they mirror trends, and they abandon anything that doesn't earn immediate praise. But the Sigma male moves in the opposite direction. He learns because he values competence. He likes knowing he can rely on himself, even when the world around him is unreliable. He likes understanding how things work, not to show off, but to create a quiet sense of inner order. He likes feeling capable, grounded, and internally aligned, as if each skill he collects strengthens the architecture of his character. This inward motivation leads him to develop skills deeply and privately. There is no audience, no scoreboard, and no desire for public reward. He measures his progress through personal satisfaction, usefulness, and internal harmony, markers that cannot be taken away by public opinion. He develops a kind of self-trust that is rare in a world obsessed with comparison. The Sigma knows that mastery is its own reward. It sharpens him, it steadies him, it prepares him. And over time, this commitment to mastery, not for admiration, but for self-respect, creates a man with profound versatility. He becomes strong where others are fragile, because he does not depend on external reinforcement to keep moving. He becomes prepared where others are overwhelmed, because quiet practice has already carved pathways for competence. He becomes skilled where others are narrow, because he learns widely, patiently, and without ego. His abilities become layered, integrated, and resilient, not because he works harder, but because he works differently. His learning is not frantic, it is steady, it is not performative, it is personal. His life becomes a long, continuous cultivation of ability, a slow sharpening of the mind, a deepening of understanding, and a calm journey toward becoming a fully capable man. And in this way, the Sigma male becomes the true jack of all trades, not out of ambition, but out of alignment. Not out of pride, but out of purpose. And so, as we come to the end of this quiet reflection, remember this: the Sigma male's strength is not measured in noise, reputation, or the approval of the world. His depth is not a performance. His abilities are not crafted for display. They are the natural result of a man who has chosen to grow inwardly, patiently, and consistently without waiting for permission or applause. The world may never fully understand why he can do so many things well. It may never see the countless hours of solitude where clarity was shaped, the silent observations where wisdom was formed, or the internal challenges he overcame without saying a word. But he understands, and for a Sigma male, that is enough. If you see yourself anywhere in this journey, allow this truth to settle gently within you. You do not need to narrow who you are to fit into a box. You do not need to choose only one path. You are allowed to be layered. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to master your life quietly without performing for the world. Walk your path with intention. Build your skills with patience. Let your curiosity lead you. Let your independence strengthen you. And let your mastery be something you carry, not to impress others, but to deepen your sense of self-reliance and inner peace. Thank you for spending this time in reflection. If this message resonated with you, stay with us for more calm, grounded explorations into the mind, habits, and quiet power of the Sigma male. Until next time, walk gently, think deeply, and continue becoming the man only you can be.